Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.
Hello, everybody. Today is Wednesday, January 22nd, 2025. Kind of a meh news day. Price action's a little meh today. Um, let's see here. Today, we're going to be going over finding and marking points of interest using traditional and Demark pivots. So, it's going to be a pivot indicator focus. One of the indicators that we have here in the server when you join the group is Pivots Extreme with multiple different settings on it. So it's something that I think isn't on the market, and we did a lot of good work in making sure that we were making it as comprehensive as possible using the pivot theory. Um, let's see here. Let's see here. Go to www.cartoonmoneyprinters.com. Click the Start Now button. If you do that, you can get 1 month free trial, and our memberships are $25 a month under the subscription. You're more than welcome to pay in crypto. That is $30 a month. So unfortunately, there's not much we could do about the pricing on that, as it's crypto and it's counted as capital gains. So without further ado, I am joined here by Kermixalot. Why don't you go ahead and say hey, my dude?
Hey guys, how are you?
Yeah.
Alright.
All right. Yeah. Why don't you go ahead and take the show?
Okay. I am going to focus on finding points of interest and levels where you might want to take a trade using pivots. And this is what you might want to just jot down. There are 6 different types of pivots. And today I'm just going to focus on traditional and Demark. Okay. So I have all the traditional pivots I have with our indicator, the pivot extreme, and I have it up on my chart 3 times so that I can toggle off. So if you see here, I have daily, weekly, and monthly traditional pivots with the CPRs too.
And just to be
Uh,
clear, we can do all those in the indicator itself, but this is Kermit's method that he likes to do because he can navigate them easily. Uh, Otherwise, you'll have to go in the settings and then choose the time frame on each on this specific indicator. So yeah, if you have the free version of TradingView or the basic version, whatever it's called, um, having 3 of them don't work, but we can still allow you to do that using the settings in the indicator itself.
yeah, everything I have on these 3 you can do in one. I just, like Mickey said, I like to toggle off one by one. So um, let me shut off all the Demark, and those I put using the TradingView standard pivot points indicator. There's not even an author. It's their default pivot point. I'll show you that in a second. All right, so here, let me even take the EMAs off. Okay, so here's a blank screen. This is the daily pivots with the CPR. The CPR is the pink box. All right, you see that? The lines are the individual pivots. Above the CPR is resistance, and below is support. And I'll have red for resistance, green for support, and I just kind of shaded them differently on the way up. So that is what the daily looks like. Here is the weekly. Right? That's a weekly CPR, and the pivots are pretty far apart. Okay, because you know that's the weekly, and then here is the monthly. Okay, so you guys know while you're watching this show, the month, if you see dashed, that means traditional monthly every time. The only dashed lines I have is traditional monthly. So this is the monthly CPR, and this is monthly R1 right here, and this is monthly S1 way down here. All right. So if you see dashed, it's monthly, and when you see the dotted lines, let me take these alerts off because I don't want those to confuse anybody. Just X that out right there. Okay. So when you see the dotted, that's weekly CPR. And when I say CPRT, that's the CPR top. CPRB is CPR bottom. Okay. And then here is the R1 and the S1. Oh, wow. Look at S1 from last week is like almost exact level here. It's crazy. All right. So that's the weekly. And then for the daily, they're all just solid lines. Okay. And that is everything on the pivot extreme, which is our indicator. It also has VWAP and a lot of other extras in there too that they don't have on a lot of pivot indicators. Now, for the Demark, I am using daily. I'm using weekly. Now these I don't have dash or dot because they don't even come with it. Monthly. Okay. When you see the lines getting thicker, that means we're going up in time frame. All right. Monthly is red. And then the quarterly is blue, and it's even thicker. And then yearly is yellow. And I think I pointed this out on Monday. You guys remember Monday night? I said it's probably going to come down here and bounce, and that's exactly what happened. So I did get a really nice trade on Doge. So it's coming down to retest that again. But anyway, these are the yellow is the yearly, the blue is the quarterly, and the red is the monthly. Okay. So what I want to do is let's look at. I'm gonna do Bitcoin, and then you guys will do your individual coins. And again, for a refresher for traditional, I'm using only daily, weekly, monthly, and Demark daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly. All right, so, and we're going to use all of these to find levels just on pivots, and I'll use a little bit of market structure too, nothing complex, to kind of tie that in. So let's look at Bitcoin. All right. So that was a trend line. Came up, SFP that, and we are heading down. Good old Wednesday night, 9 o'clock, right? We always get movement. All right, well, I just got to miss out on that short. All good. All right, so I'm going to slowly put in all the pivots, okay? Might get a little busy. If it's too much, say something. And we're going to use all these lines for levels, okay? So, let's actually move forward. Okay. So what I like is to look for places where the pivots are stacked, okay? So this right here, I'm going to use a rectangle, right? So this right here was a really good level, okay? And I'll explain why I like it. A little bit darker. There we go. Okay, I really like this level because you see the monthly pivot. You also had a center of your CPR here on this day. and you also had a VWAP there too, but that was a good level, and it actually came over and back down, rejected, and it's been down ever since. So right here you have a weekly pivot and you have a monthly pivot. Remember, the red is monthly, plus you have a daily pivot right here too. So this is obviously a high area of interest. All right. So I'm going to make that green because a lot of the par is oversold right now. So I think there's a high chance that we bounce right here, and that's at around 100.9. And so I'm going to make that green. There we go. And then the next level would be, you see how we bounced twice off of the top of the weekly CPR? When CPRs are pretty wide, the tops and the bottoms always offer really good support. So I'm going to mark that level as well. All right. And now here we have a daily pivot and the top of the monthly CPR. So that's obviously going to be, and it's also a VWAP gap here too. But I'm really kind of just focusing on the pivots. All right, and that's at 99. So that's what I'm finding for Bitcoin. There's also another one down here. We have the bottom of the weekly CPR. We have the center of the monthly. And we have two daily pivots pretty much neck and neck right where the monthly pivot is. So I'm going to mark that as well. I know the brightness of this is kind of hiding, so I'm going to tone that down a little bit. Yeah. I want you guys to be able to see the pivots through the forest here. Hold on. Kind of liking having a break from par today, honestly.
Yeah, it is kind of nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it's different. It's the levels, you know. It's you know what I like about this too is way less guesswork, you know. But I need to be better at setting these levels and putting them up. It's just been, life's been really busy. But if I can do this, I will trade even better. You create the levels, and then if you see the par is really oversold and starting to bounce off of it, you know, that's going to be probably a good trade. You're at least going to get a nice scalp out of it. Anyway.
Do you want to explain to him the forming CPR? Because it's changing as we speak.
Oh, well, you still have 22 hours for this CPR it's going to change a lot. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really give this much weight until it's like 1 to 2 hours before close. So like tomorrow night at like 5:30, 6 p.m., that's when I'll really start to consider and look at this.
Yeah. So what that is it's projecting the next day's CPR on the previous day's data. So right now you can kind of see that it's squeezing. And so right now it's just that's how little data is there that it's adjusting the forecast.
I'm gonna give you guys a little tip, right? Let's pretend that CPR is right here. Let me make that light blue, okay? All right, ignore this one, but let's pretend the CPR price is right here and the CPR is like razor thin. When you see that razor thin, it's not a very comfortable place for the CPR to be. So even, I mean, with 22 hours out, I wouldn't give it as much weight. But let's say we're like into tomorrow, New York session, right? And if you see the CPR like this, wherever the price is at that moment, it's like almost like 90% that it's going to go far away in either direction because it's not That's not a comfortable spot. Right here, I mean, if you're looking at all the CPRs, this one that's currently up is a little bit narrow. So price will probably, I mean, you know, it's going to shift around a little bit. But again, it's too far away. It's 22 hours away. Anyway, so back to the levels. Here's another. You got a daily and a daily. They're pretty much neck and neck right here. And you have a weekly CPR. So on the upside, and that's at the top of this move too. So here, market structure is coming into play as well. And you can always take a look at your lines and kind of go back. I'm going to get off the 15-minute. I don't need to be on 15. I'm going to do 1 hour or 4 hour. All right. So what's kind of cool, I know it's getting a little busy. Let me shut off the daily Demark. Okay, you see this level? How it coincides with that top right there? All right. So that kind of gives this more solidity. This one, and Mickey, if you see anything, let me know. But I don't see anything structurally here or here. So
that is the confluence of the green square that you just stretched out over that pink solid line.
Yeah.
That one is in confluence with the value area high, which has been proving as resistance for price in the past week.
Okay. All right. In value area high, you can get off of the trader package. I don't have it up.
No, that's the Trading Views in-house exchange volume profile.
Okay.
At least that's the one that I use. It's in the tools. You don't even need to look it up. You can just go to the tools on the left and find it.
All right, so this level here, bringing that across, that comes right across the bottom of this CPR and the middle of the one before. So again, more confluence. And then this level here, which was center of the monthly, who's got the mic on?
Yeah. If you guys could please mute your mic for me, that'd be awesome. Thank you.
So here, the center of the monthly CPR, and then you have where price came up, rejected, and then flew right through it. So there's just if you use it with and right over here too, price came down and bounced off. Again, this was a center of a monthly CPR, so you're going to get these reactions. Always a very strong level. All right. Let me look in chat. Okay, yeah, I don't even have the 250 up. But yeah, that's even better to use those for confluence. All right, so let me do jump for Haro.
I server muted RT. Sorry, buddy.
Not TC. And Froggy's really good with the pivots too. So if you see anything I don't, say something. All right. Wow. Jup is. I guess this is the sell the rumor of the coin token unlock. I guess. I mean, this is coming down pretty steep and fast. Anyway, so I'm gonna look at Jup.
One thing I've noticed with token unlocks is they always sell off before they unlock. I think it's because there's going to be a flood of coins, a flood of supply, and so they're going to expect people not to buy that up.
Well, I don't see. I mean, pivot-wise, there is just nothing. I mean, you got, and all these pivots are kind of like standalones too. So, I really like looking for stacked areas. Okay, so I see here we got weekly, 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 weekly. We got a S1. So I would say this is a likely area, but it's kind of wide. But it is what it is. So I'm going to put that. That would be an area of interest for me on Jup at around 71 cents. And then really nothing down here. Couple weeklies stepping up here, but I would go right to the yearly at 62.28. So let's take a look at that. And then we have a monthly pivot down here. And this is the first monthly pivot from the CPR. So it's the pivots on the monthly are very wide right now. Also, you got a weekly on either side of it, so this would be an area too. I don't think it's gonna go that low. That's pretty beat up. When's the token unlock on this? Anybody know? You put it in the chat.
Let me see if I can find it for you.
Thanks. I kind of like 62, 63 cents for Jup. But I don't think it's going to go straight down there. Could, but that would be a really fast move. Maybe something, I mean, I don't like to predict, but maybe something kind of like this. You know, that's the steepest. It could even just kind of drift down and maybe do another one of these too. But that's what I have for Jup. Caro, do you have any confluence on levels in there, or are you looking to get in now? And then who was next? Bazil. I'll do Rune and Virtual because I know everybody was talking about Virtual today. So I'll do Rune, Virtual, XRP. And if you haven't put a coin up, feel free to put it. And I think now that you guys know what I'm looking for, I can move a little bit faster on the next few. Freedom Lever, hey, welcome. So, just a quick recap for Freedom Lever and a few that came in a little bit after. What I'm doing is looking for pivots that are stacked and seeing how those could be points of interest for reversals in the price action. It's not good, Chip. It was good. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, everybody was long and off, and it just turned right around. Alright, so let's do Rune. Oof. Man. Everything is just knifing. Well, I missed my shorts tonight. Oh well. Start fresh in the morning. Let's see here. Rune, okay. Yeah, I already see where I'm going with it. But, alright, so a lot of standalones.
Tokenomist .ai isn't providing any data as far as the unlock events.
Okay. Thank you. Alright, so we have a Demark daily right here at 303. And looking back, it's also a bottom here. So I will that definitely gets a box. Alright. Box for you, everybody gets a box. Alright, here we go. And then there's really just not much. I mean, and now I want to go to like the 4 hour, I think. God, runes just destroyed lately. Alright, I don't even want to go back that far. Well, so here we have a weekly. There's a daily right here. A couple dailies all like above and below the monthly S1. So that's definitely going to get a level. And what I'm noticing right now is some of these levels are pretty far. All right, and then here you have a weekly and a quarterly. And Froggy can attest. Actually, him and Smussles are where I started using Demarks a lot more. I used to just be Camarilla and traditional, but these quarterly and yearlies are very strong. And there's a weekly in there too, so we got 2.68, 2.8, and more locally 303. So maybe bounce off of that, come back above or hit the CPR and back down. I mean, everything's looking pretty bad right now. You got those levels, Azio? Definitely, yeah, put them up. And then, you know, you can look for your own later and just kind of see what happens. That's the fun part. Okay, so I'm going to do virtual next. And try to pick up the pace a little bit here. Okay. So I kind of usually just see them very quickly. So here we have an S1 from a week or so ago. We have a monthly pivot, and we have another one there too, right? What else is there? No, just a daily. It's not super strong. But again, a lot of standalones. You might get a little reaction here. Couple, you have a Demark and a daily right here. Whoa. That. Yeah. And it's there's an order block there too, right, Mickey? Right here. This guy. Alright, so there. And right now, there is a chance...
Yeah, that's an order block.
Right now, there is a chance that it could hold... it's a yearly and a monthly. Here, let me... And a quarterly? Holy shit. Okay, so... Right where we are at right now, there is a yearly, a quarterly, and a monthly. So... This area is just really strong, and there's also
you can see that too in prior data. Like it was using that as a resistance. Now it's acting as a support.
Yeah. Wow. Maybe not for long.
Yeah, we'll see.
It's pretty threatening. Just for shits and giggles. Okay. So the par is really oversold on the 50-minute 1 hour. So there is a chance if anything could bounce, this might. You know. 2.4 for a stop loss. I was just kind of thinking about if I get a reaction later when I get off, I may grab this, but it's got to bounce. All right, so those are my levels on virtual. We're at one right now, but it's kind of poking through. A little one here, which it may come down to even tonight and bounce because we're really oversold on like kind of the lower to mid time frames par. And then if that fails, you got down here, which would be an SFP of this drop right here on virtual. So above, pretty much the same thing. You got the yearly, quarterly, and monthly right here at 340. So if we bounced and it can get through, here, let me tell you where some resistance would be. Right here, because you have the bottom of this weekly CPR, you have the top of a daily, you have another daily, and you have the middle of the weekly CPR. And I'm going to change this to red because that's going to be resistance. All right. And then here you have the center of the monthly CPR and the top of the weekly CPRT. So I'm going to put another resistance there. So if it can get through this and this, you're probably going right up to here. And I'll go ahead, just for good measure, put a, and then if it can break that out, give me, and then you got the top up here, where this is just market structure. There's no pivots there, so that would be interesting to see if it can get through this, what would happen at that top there. So that's virtual. Any questions so far? Thought and rune for spot? That was about 5 minutes ago. He asked that. I went over rune. Let me go to rune. I mean, if somebody wants to answer his question in chat, that's fine. But I wouldn't put a long trade on. I wouldn't put it just yet. For spot, you know, I'm going to be looking at like the high time frame. I mean, it could be close to a bounce here. I'd like to see if it comes down to touch this point of interest or kind of swing below and back over, then I'd be interested because it would probably give me a nice bull div on the ribbon on the high time frame. But this isn't done yet. It's still coming down and want to turn. So it's either going to hit here. If it hits here and bounces, or even better here and bounce, then you should still get a bull div. I don't think this ribbon would go below. I mean, this is really low. So you could get a bull div. So let's watch for that over the next few days. Alright, so that's rune. And what do we have next? XRP and OV. Let me go into those. And then I can answer questions after. I'm basically just using the Binance one on everything. Okay. Levels. Use some pivots. I'm on the 4 hour now. Okay, so I see one. I mean, you can just kind of get used to looking at this. There's a lot of busyness in here, right? You got a daily, a monthly, a weekly, Demark pivot. So you got a lot going on. So I'm going to use that area. It's also where price came down and bounced right here too. So there we go. And since that is a support, it's green for support, red for resistance, and that's always going to be how I do it. So if you see charts with boxes that I'm drawing, that's what it means. Got a narrow CPR for tomorrow, but again, it's really way too early to notice. Let's see. Below here, I guess I would use this because of the wicks coming down. And that's the top of the weekly, and there's a daily there. this isn't super strong. And what you can do if you're setting your levels, like if it's a really strong level, you can make it kind of wider and darker. This one's kind of gonna get a narrow one. And then here, bottom of the weekly and a daily. So I'll give that a spot. And then you got VWAP coming into play. But you have a monthly and a daily stacked. So this would be another level right here. And then a daily and a weekly Demark. Now we're just going, you know. I don't really usually feel the need to put more than 3 or 4 levels, but this would be a really strong one, but it's way down here. Center of the weekly and a monthly pivot right here. So this is XRP. All right, so we're looking at 243, 265, 271, 285, 292, and 302. I mean, that's more levels than I would normally use, but this is XRP, and this thing can really move. And if you look, this is really strong support all up in here too. It's kind of where it went below, and once it pushed through with this bullish engulfing on the 4-hour, it just went straight up. All right, so bullish engulfing, right here. Don't fade them. They can really pay off sometimes. You got to make sure that they get going though after a few candles. All right, so that is XRP. Let's look above too. This is pretty obvious because it's the tippy top here. A monthly pivot, a whole bunch of daily, boom, boom, boom. All right, so this is obviously a strong resistance. Okay, above that, I would say right about here with a Demark daily and a weekly stacked. Again, I'm really focusing on areas where there's stacked confluence with other pivots. Like this guy is kind of standalone. I mean, I guess if you look back, there's a weekly. So, but I think here is huge resistance because you have a monthly, you have a yearly, quarterly, and that just gets a big old box right there around. I'd say 375 is probably a good upside target if it breaks out. So if it breaks out of here, double top at 336, you probably got yourself a really nice quick trade. So that's what I see on XRP. All right, so OV. Some ugly candles on this thing. Some pretty ones too, but unfortunately, it's not a lot of support. Okay, so I like this S1 because you have the center of the daily CPR here. So I'm going to put that for support. So I definitely, at this point, I wouldn't touch OV for long until we get to about 333 area. And then we have daily and a monthly, and there's another daily in there too. So there's a lot of stacked pivots here. So this is 327, not very far away. And then the next, I would look at here, you have the top of the weekly CPR. You have a weekly Demark right here, and the center of this CPR. So that would give me another support level. All right. And then we have here huge because you have the top of monthly, top of a weekly, and a quarterly all within range here. So that was also, you could see the bounce for this red candle, and then you had a honkin' hammer candle that closed right over that spot. So this gets a really strong. So what I would do for this right here, make that shit dark. Right? That's really important. So that's 308, like 315, 327, 333. Those are my downside levels. I'm not even looking at upside until this thing shows that it's gonna bounce. Any questions so far? Mickey, you got anything?
I was just really trying to break down Rune for Roz, and
You go to it.
It's I'm trying to see what I could like find, and it looks like it might be priming for a bounce, but the money flow is leaving on the daily, and so and it's like all time high is what, 13.
Yeah. I mean, it could bounce because you got oversold too.
Yeah, no, it's
You got-
oversold in everything but the daily.
Okay. Yeah, I mean the high time, the 540 is oversold.